page it's on, whatever page you can find that word on. Now you have to encourage them when they're notebooking, not just to write, but to draw. They need to draw what they see also. That's a big part of it. That's why, like, 2 periods is really recommended, because they're writing, they're drawing, you know, they're really, and they're talking, and then they're setting it up, they're observing, so it does take time. And I've never lost them once yet. You know, I've done many of these experiments, and 2 periods was sometimes not even enough. It wasn't like after 10 minutes they were bored and we lost control. They had so much to do, and they were so interested. It really helped with management. Now, in your binder, the binder is set up nicely. You have the part called investigations. The investigations part, you open it right up and you pop out just this little book. This is your investigation 1, water observations. That's what we're doing today. Investigation 1 consists of 3 lessons. Lesson 1, 2, and 3. Okay, each of these books has some different lessons. So you figure, this book alone, Water Observations, has 3 lessons. Each lesson is a different day. So you have like week 1, week 2, week 3. You know, then you have the next little pop out, hot water, cold water. That's investigation 2. That is another 3 lessons. So that's 6 weeks right there. Then you have your next book. So I mean, one binder is going to take you across months. So if you want to pop this out, I have one of those very long staples, and I staple mine so it doesn't, because they fall apart. You know, you don't want to. So you can staple it, then you can highlight what you need to write your little notes in the margin. You can take it home because it's just so much lighter than the binder. You can take it anyway, but slip it in your purse. You can read it when you're wherever. It's wonderful. Now, so we're going to be working with this. Investigation 1, water observations. Now, each lesson also tells you on the first page with each lesson how long they recommend you do the lesson for. I'm going to say, for me doing the lessons, it took me longer than than how they said, how long they said, because I gave them a lot of time to find out and come back and report. Now, FOSS is very much like the everyday math. It's a constructivist approach. They construct their own meaning. I give them very little to start. They go off and do a lot. They come back and tell me all this stuff. So that's how the math is also. So really, when we start off, if you look in your folder and you find after the helpful hints, try to find Investigation 1, Part 1, Water Observations, looking at water. Looking at water, Part 1. Now, for each investigation, you have an inquiry question. The inquiry question is really all you should give them when you have your little meeting on the rug. I start out on the rug, we have our mini lesson, and all I really give them is the inquiry question. Now, you don't want to give them a lot because you want them to kind of come back with it. What's the inquiry question for the first part, looking at water? The inquiry question is what happens when water gets spilled, splashed, or dropped on something. Okay, so that's what they're going to go off and find out, what happens to the water. Now, you try not to use words like absorb or feed or anything like that until the end. You try to save all the words and all the knowledge until the end because you want them to give it to you instead of you feeding them. A lot of teachers just stand up here and give them all day. You got to learn, you know, relinquish control, lay back a little, let them come and give you the information, you know. Okay, so if you would just take yourself, we'll go to the first experiment. Let's go to its different surfaces. So right now, if you would, you have 4 surfaces. You have 4 different types of materials on your desk for the water to pick. What are the materials you have? Does anyone know the names of them?
Tin foil.
Tin foil. Good. Wax paper. Wax paper. That's sometimes they don't know, and that's a good one. Okay?
Regular paper.
Sponges for cleaning up. Sorry.
Paper towel.
A paper towel and then regular paper. So, and you know what I do before I send them off? I always demonstrate the tool we're using. So while we would be on the rug, I would demonstrate this. Do you know what this is called? They say a dropper. I would demonstrate that you have to squeeze it, put it in, and then let go in order for the water to be sucked up into the dropper part. Then I would show them, very easy, you squeeze so only 1 drop comes out at a time. Because for them to learn to use the dropper properly really does help in the next 2 lessons.
I don't have You mean the
I can
paint?
switch it also, so let me demonstrate, sorry. The sponge is for cleaning up if you have a little mess. So you can start now to just observe what happens to drops of water as they hit the different materials, the different papers that are on your desk. Try to watch the drop come out of the dropper. Try to watch what it does when it hits the different surfaces. Okay, observe. And then if you look behind you, there are some questions to lead your observations. So if you could try to read those questions and think about the answers as you observe, it would be great. What happens to each drop as they hit? You're doing that now. Can you make one drop bounce off of another? How close together can you put two drops without touching? And what shapes are the drops as they fall through the air? So try to also notice the shape of the drop as they come out of the dropper. Now, of course, it'd be a lot more noisy, and they'd be chatting, and they'd be laughing and saying, wow, and try to pull a drop. See if you can drag a drop.
You can.
See, yeah. See if you can make two drops sit next to each other without touching, you know? And you can, on the different surfaces, different things happen.
That's the best. I like the one. Yeah, I like the
wax paper.
That's what I'm doing too, the wax paper.
It doesn't use its shape.
No.
You can only drag on one.
Yeah.
You cannot shake with wax paper.
See, such a simple little thing. And some water, a dropper, and they really learn. They learn a lot.
Yeah.
You can drag, you can drag.
Watch. Right here, go right on it and then just drag it.
Look.
Oh, huh?
Let's try it on the.
I have too much in my
drag.
block.
Without it.
There's a lot of
Permanence.
You can drag and it gets longer on the
And maybe have
foil.
more, you
These
just
keep
absorb
their
that.
shape.
Oh, yeah.
On the
I
wax
agree.
paper,
Wax paper is
it
the
keeps its
You're
shape.
right.
But on the foil, it's like when you drag it, it elongates.
Okay, so you would give them a lot of time to experiment, and then you'd call them back to the rug, and you would ask them, what did you notice? What did you notice, Pat?
I noticed that on the wax paper, I can drag the drop.
Very nice. What did you notice, Renee?
The paper towel